I always tell my staff that I want you to be perfect, as close as perfect as you can get, because it is achievable. You make mistakes here and there, but for the most part, if you literally just follow everything you're supposed to do, you can be perfect.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Beachside Talks. I'm your host, Tunes, with a very special guest today.
My name is Alexandria Williams, and I am the director of sales of a hospitality company here in Little Rock.
Okay, you want to tell us more about that?
So, my company, we have about 8 hotels here in Central Arkansas. We also have a resort in Heber Springs, and then we also have a hotel in Monroe, Louisiana. We are currently building a hotel on the Little Rock Airport grounds, right in front of the airport. So it's super exciting. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you had a presentation today.
Yes.
How did that go?
It went beyond it went beyond my expectations. It was supposed to be really like a 45-minute presentation, and it went over 2 hours. And just sitting in the boardroom, staring at all of my boss's face, which would include our 3 owners and the director of operations and the director of compliance, and kind of just staring them in the face and just saying, "This is what I need from you." Trying to lay the foundation not only for myself, but for our company as a whole, since I'm the first person that's really been in this position. It meant everything to me. And not only that, all the support I received from people, other hospitality companies, other people not in hospitality, friends who are professionals in different, sectors. I can't believe something that started off like, okay, I just need a little help, that turned into this big thing. And I can't even stop smiling about it because I'm so excited.
Well, I'm glad it went well. So, can you tell us how you got started in your field?
Yes, so it was 10 years ago, June of 2012, I will never forget. I started at the Fairfield Inn, North Little Rock. I started there because my mother-in-law was a front desk agent there, and she was working there like part time, and she was like, "Hey, you need a job, because I was going to start college." She was like, "You can come work here." I literally walked in there. I remember I had on like these shorts. Like, I was just a mess. I didn't know nothing about anything, and I was just hired just based on word of mouth. And really, that really got my start, just working the front desk. I really was not good at it. I was like this close to being fired, and I'll never forget the day that my GM came to me and she said, "Maybe this isn't for you." I had made a fail QA, which is our quality assurance for Marriott. I had made so many mistakes, and I think she was just like, "This is not for you. How about you do breakfast instead?" And I remember I started crying, and I said, "No, this is for me." I went in the bathroom, I wiped my tears, and I said, "From this day forward, I'm going to be perfect." And literally within months, I was promoted to front office manager. My mother-in-law, she was promoted to assistant general manager. A few months after that, she got promoted to the general manager of the hotel. And I still was just like the front office manager. I was kind of grandfathered in because at first, it was someone over my mother-in-law and over me. She just started out just like me, just being like a normal person like me. But the company then had to kind of come in because it's very like touchy-feely, because it's like we weren't family, but it's like I was dating her son. So, it's a lot of stuff that goes behind all that. So they basically had to make sure that I was being dealt with strictly with like the corporate people, not her. Like, if I was going to get in trouble, it would be just like the corporate people. It would be the AGM that talks to me. It wouldn't be her. Like, she wouldn't deal with me directly. But yeah, and she served as my mentor for many years. Even when she wasn't my GM anymore, she went to another hotel. She really helped me mold me into like this person, not just her, the whole company that I worked for at the time. I even talked about them today during my presentation, because that company, I worked there for 5 years. They really molded me. Front desk, front office manager, assistant general manager. That's all before I was 23. So that's a lot of responsibility. Really, I'm like 19 years old telling a 50-year-old what to do. And it just didn't stop there. Like, I decided, because I was leaving, I was at Henderson State. I would leave at 2 p.m., be at work by 3 p.m., work till 11 p.m., wake up at 7 a.m., go to work till 3 p.m., the next day 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., and go back to Henderson after 3 p.m. to be there for class. So it was really like bam, bam, bam. But then I just decided, like, actually, I want to do this. Especially after meeting the COO of the company, and she was just this vibrant little blonde lady who you wouldn't even tell that she was a COO by looking at her, because she was just so beautiful and so fun and like so unserious that you wouldn't realize that she's over this company worth millions of dollars. And I was like, I want to be like her. And every interview I've done since then, literally, I use her as an example of what I want to be. I was with theyll for 5 years, left as assistant general manager. I was on the opening team of the Hilton Garden Inn downtown Little Rock. The sales manager there. I left there and became the general manager of the Residence Inn West Little Rock, right over here across the street. I left there to become the general manager of the Spring Hill Suites West Little Rock, and I was the GM there for 3 years until the hotel was sold. And now here I am, the area director of sales with my current company. So it's a lot.
A lot of job titles.
A lot of job titles.
Prestigious job titles, though.
Yes.
Not just bull stuff job titles.
Yes, but I became a GM at 24, and most people don't expect to become a GM at 24. It's really unheard of. Like, you will rarely hear somebody say that they became a general manager of a hotel that is worth millions and making millions in revenue at 24, having that much responsibility and carrying all that responsibility. Usually I'm the youngest person at the hotel. I would be like the youngest person. But it is what it is. I just made sure to be professional as possible. Talk like this. I dress a certain way. I wear heels all the time. I don't have on heels today, but I wear heels all the time. And literally someone yesterday said, "You're so tall. Why are you wearing those heels?" I said, when I walk in the room, I'm commanding the space. And that's just literally what I've done my whole career the past 10 years.
Yeah, you are an extreme presence, enigma, and super polite.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate you sitting with me today. Want to say it on camera and off camera. And happy International Women's Day.
Yes, International Women's Day. Oh my God, this has fallen on that day. So this is great. So thank you so much for being here with me.
Yeah, it's all about alignment. You know, the universe do what it do.
It does.
I'm just here for it.
It does, and thank you for being here. Especially, this is our first time showcasing our newly renovated boardroom. I'm here at the Wingate West Little Rock. If you need a boardroom, hit me up.
So you're the director of sales. What all falls under that scope?
So I'm actually the director of sales and marketing. So literally, I'm like the face of the company. Today, I describe myself as a walking, talking Google ad. I would consider myself the hotel girl. I'm an ambassador at the Little Rock Chamber, and that's what I want. I'm the hotel girl. I'm the girl who has many hotels under her belt, and I'm really selling every hotel. We have brands from Marriott, Hilton, Wyndham, Choice. We have independently owned hotels, the Markham House Suites and the Guest Inn Suites on University in Markham. We have Lindsay's Resort, which is in Heber Springs. So literally just being the face of the company. When people meet me, I want them to remember, I need hotels. Who do I call? Oh my God, Alexandria. That's exactly who I call. Everywhere I go, I have my business card with me. I'm handing out cards. I'm introducing myself to people. I want people to remember me, remember my name, and remember my company's name, always.
I can see that. You are the first person I think of now when I think about a hotel. Like,
I hope so.
Yeah.
Always. That's what I want everyone to always think about. Like, I need a hotel. I need something. I don't mean when I say you need a hotel that you need a discount, because listen, I'm not in that market. I know a lot of people who do that, and that is illegal. It's not illegal. But you shouldn't do it coming from a former GM. Do not give your discount to people who you do not know and trust, because that is not only your name, but that is your management company's names that sit on that discount form. So if you need a discount, I'm not your girl, but I am your girl if you do need 10 or more rooms for a group. If you need meeting space, salesperson through and through.
Get at her, get at her. I might need some rooms in a couple of years.
Hey, not in a couple of years.
Yeah,
you need rooms all the time. Everybody needs a hotel. We are defunding Airbnb, but you didn't hear it from me.
I agree. I don't like it. I don't like Airbnb.
I am anti Airbnb. No offense to people who that's their livelihood. Obviously, being in hotels, there's nothing better. When I stay in a hotel, when I stay in hotels, I don't want to be in the hotel. I really have specific brands that I stay at. Like I have to stay at certain brands, certain hotels, certain areas. But
what's your favorite hotel?
My favorite hotel is actually the Embassy Suites. Solely for the manager's reception. It's so much fun. Like the 2 hours of unlimited drinks. Like, how can you go wrong with unlimited drinks?
I'm a hater because I ain't never had that.
You never been to the Embassy Suites?
No, I haven't.
Change it immediately. We have one here in Little Rock. You know, I don't really recommend going to hotels in your city. I do not recommend people living in the city doing things like that, but
I wanted to. That hotel.
It's a staycation.
The Delta right up the street. I want to go check.
Oh, the Delta.
Yeah. How do they don't follow in your umbrella do it?
The Delta is a Marriott hotel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it does follow under Marriott hotels. It is owned by a company here and whatnot. It's a beautiful hotel. They just completed a renovation. All the hotels in Little Rock, really. I have nothing bad to say. We have such beautiful properties, no parties, but do recommend staycations. I'm very anti-hotel parties type deal.
That's your wheelhouse, so of course you will be against.
Yes.
But I've been to a couple that were fun.
I know it seems like it to you guys, but for me, I remember one time there was a party at my last property. I was working night audit just randomly, and if we notice traffic coming into rooms, a lot of traffic, meaning people that are coming in and out and go into one specific room, that's you kind of flag it because we have cameras. Every hotel, there's a million cameras. At my previous hotels, we have a lot of cameras, so we can see everything. So if we flag a room that has a lot of traffic going into it, I put an end to it immediately. When I go up there, someone's like, "Oh my God, this is my homegirl, Alex. What you doing here? Alex, come on, she cool." I'm like, I am not cool. This is not a place to work. Get out. Like, leave right now before I call the police. He's like, the police? It's like that. Like, we're cool. I see you out all the time. Like, we're supposed to be buddies. I'm like, no, you need to go. Like, this is inappropriate. Y'all should not be here. Time for you guys to go.
You like that, though?
I am. Like, a switch. If you see me at work, the switch happens so crazy. Everyone says it. My sister always says it. My friends always say it. How can you go from this to that so quickly? Even just like my tone of voice, like the way I talk to people, it can literally go from like, "Hey, what you doing?" "Oh, hi. It's so great to see you." Like kind of like that thing where it says, the little meme where they're unzipping the people. That's kind of like me. I'm being zipped and unzipped continuously. And I just had to learn to kind of live with it because I am super young, 29. It's not going to change. Who knows?
Okay. So you travel a lot with your job, and I'm not job is with your career.
Mm-hmm.
What's been your favorite place to travel?
So just being with hotels. Actually, I have to say, I only do like a certain amount of trips per year because I do have children and whatnot. My favorite place that I've been is probably Cancun. Stayed at the Aloft, which is a Marriott hotel, right on the Strip, right where all the bars, all the clubs, everything.
I love how you plugging it.
Yeah,
You really will be Google ad.
I am. I'm sorry. I know every single hotel brand. If you put my kids, they went to Dallas like 2 weekends ago, and my son he loves playing this game with me. He goes, "Mommy, guess where I am?" So he pointed, outside. I'm like, "Are you in Plano?" He's like, "No, actually, I'm in Fort Worth. But next, so guess which hotel I'm at?" And then he kind of just shows me around the room. I go, "Okay, so you're at the Aloft Fort Worth." And he goes, "How did you know? How did you know?" I said, the Aloft is very particular with their color scheme, their furniture, the way their rooms are set up. We actually have an Aloft here in Little Rock, actually, on Chenal. We do have an Aloft, very beautiful hotel. You have to go see it. They're very particular. Every brand has its own unique niche and has its own guests that it caters to. So I can really like see if someone take a picture in a hotel room and I already know which hotel they're at because it's that easy. It's that easy. Yeah, but I love the Aloft, Mexico. They had Happy 12 Hours, which was 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. free drinks the whole day. So, yeah, that was like so much fun.
I'm adding it to my bucket list.
Yeah, you need to. They have bikes. They do bikes that you could just take out of the lobby. That hotel really is made to where they want their guests to come to the lobby. The rooms are very minimal, very modern, very minimum. Nothing in the room wants you to stay in the room. It's very cut and dry. Like, you don't want to be in this room. It's like a box. Get out the room, go to the lobby. There's like sectionals everywhere. It's a very chill place. If you go to the XYZ bar at the Loft Hotel in Chenal, they have that exact same setup. You have to go there. They do happy hour. They do drink specials. It's actually locally owned by a hospitality company here in Little Rock. So the more you know.
You got any places in St. Thomas I should?
In St. Thomas, so actually I've Googled St. Thomas to see kind of like what hotels they have there. It's kind of like one of those islands where it's like, it's not as developed as other places, so there aren't very many hotels there. Like if you're looking up a hotel, it's going to be like a major resort. They're not going to have like your smaller brands that are going to sit there. And they probably only have about like one or two that are sitting over there. So St. Thomas, you most likely would get a villa. Okay. While you're out there, if you're not gonna stay at a resort.
Villa sounds nice. All right. So what you said earlier, you went in the bathroom, cried, and said from this they forced you were gonna be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think was causing you to mess up beforehand?
Well, it was my first job. I was 18. I never had a job. Most people work in high school. They work all types of jobs, like maybe at McDonald's or anything. I had never had a job. So that was my very first time getting a job and kind of experiencing that at 18 years old. And basically, I just had to make those mistakes because I always tell my staff that I want you to be perfect, as close as perfect as you can get, because it is achievable. You make mistakes here and there, but for the most part, if you literally just follow everything you're supposed to do, you can be perfect. I had never got written up. I had never like messed anything up really bad. Like I really was just staying on track and making sure that anything they told me, I corrected it right then and there. Also, the expectation was set since someone I knew was my boss or was the boss of the sister property. Basically, we're in the same company. The expectation is set that I need to rise to the occasion. Mm-hmm. Like this is not going to be handed to me. I have to do everything that I need to do to get to where I want to be. Because just because I know somebody, that does not mean I'm going to get where I want to be. If you knew how many people to this day who started out with me during that time, and what they're doing right now is they're still working the front desk. And I hate to see it, I do, but people do not stay on task. They do not, like, I wasn't worried about the money. I remember I was making like $7. I wasn't worried about anything like that. I knew everything I was doing was for one reason and one reason only. And that's the first literal 5 years of my career. And I say that to all my friends in hospitality all the time. Like, you got to just stay on task. You got to take what you got. You got to take it. And eventually it'll pay off. Because for me, it has paid off tremendously.
What's the most difficult part of your job at the moment?
At the moment, while being the director of sales, is me not having any control over all of our, any of the operations of the hotels. Each hotel has its own manager. I'm not the manager of these hotels. I'm strictly there to do sales. So you really have to utilize a different skill to, I always tell my bosses, because I have my own bosses, I always tell them that I have to learn to talk to people. Like, not that, oh, I'm above you, you need to listen to me. I have to learn to talk to them as my peers, because I never had peers before. My peers would be other GMs from other properties. We would be leaning on each other. But right now, I'm not a GM, so I don't have any control. If your staff is doing something wrong, I can't correct it. I really have to go through the managers, and they have to correct it themselves, because I don't have those relationships. And I miss it, and it is very hard at the moment, but we're seeing it through.
You feel like you being a parent has helped you propelling your career?
I do think so. I had my son in 2017, no, 2015, and I was still just a front office manager.
That's a great year.
Yeah, by the time I had my daughter in 2017, I was an assistant general manager, and then I became a sales manager um, literally within a few months of her being born. So I think that it helped me because it really just made me be like focused and know that. See, I kept seeing the bigger picture. When I was younger, I saw the bigger picture because literally while everybody was out partying, I was working. Like my friend, my best friend at the time, she was working at the same hotel that I was working at, and I remember I would relieve her at 11 p.m. She would go out to the party. She would sleep in her car, and she would relieve me at 7 a.m. But meanwhile, I'm working throughout the night. I'm doing this all the time. If people don't come to work, I work. If I want to let someone go because they're not, up to my expectations, I'm working. I worked so hard, and I just missed out on a lot. And in turn, during that time, I got married, had 2 kids. Like it was a really big time for me, and I was like a mother and a caretaker and a wife, and all this was just all in one.
Mm-hmm. So how do you find that balance between home life and work life?
Well, I had to find the balance. Actually, I found the balance probably, I'll say, in like 2018, after my baby got just a little bit older and I was no longer breastfeeding. I was like, I am 23 years old. I've never drank before. I've never been to a party. I've never been on a girls trip. I've never did anything. And I really just had to figure it out. Like my kids are on a strict schedule. My kids go to sleep in between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. They're in bed by 8:30, no later than 9 o'clock. And that really has helped me maintain this amazing balance. Thankful to my grandmother, she also contributes to that balance because she watches them. Like on the weekends that I have them, she watches them. She stays at my house and she watches them, so I'm able to go out and do stuff like on a Friday or a Saturday. And if I don't go out, she's always like, "Oh, you're not going anywhere? Like, what am I here for?" Then like, you're just like, "Nanny, I miss you. I love you. Like, I'm glad to have you here with me." So I have a great support system. And then also I have a great work ethic. And that really helps me balance because I could never just be the person who is just being just one thing. I love having fun, clearly. You see.
Mm-hmm.
I love having fun.
And you have a great taste palette. And your kids, impeccable. I be seeing what you be posting up.
Mm-hmm.
They food be better than mine. I be jealous. Like, how did you get it?
So their favorite restaurant is Tokyo House. That's their very favorite restaurant. And I actually owe their palettes. I owe my palettes to their dad and his uncle. I remember they used to take me out for sushi all the time, and I would just be like, ugh. And they really just got me into it. Like we would go out for sushi, like our whole family, and we would just get mounds of sushi. Like there was no other food, just sushi. And so when I kind of fell in love with it, after I've had babies and done all this, it's only right for them to love it. Like whenever we do like special dinners, I let them choose. I'll go get sushi out of this nice platter, lay all the sushi out, and we'll just sit like in the living room and just eat it. They eat with chopsticks. My kids eat with chopsticks, with trainers, and they just eat it.
Yeah. How hard was it for you to learn how to eat with chopsticks?
I'm still not very good at it. Like I'm not very good, but I can get the job done. Like I can hold it, but if you look at the way other people do it, they're much better than me. It wasn't too hard. When you do it so much and when you're around people whose level of taste is just so much better than yours and the way they hold the chopsticks, you have to rise to the occasion and kind of be like that with them.
Mm-hmm. And going back to your job just for a quick second, I meant to ask you earlier, since it's Women's History Month, have you had to deal with sexism in your career, or has it been pretty much, hey, you're here, we're gonna support you?
So mostly, most of the GMs I've worked for have been women. Most of most GMs are women. Like a lot of the GMs are women. So it's something I really didn't have to deal with. There was a time where I did have a GM who was just like out of control. And I remember him telling me, "You're just a pretty face." And I'm like, you know what? You want to know something? Like, and it wasn't just me. It was a lot of the women like on our team. It was just kind of like we weren't with that. We weren't like so.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't want to talk about it. No, he got dealt with, but he definitely got dealt with. That is so funny because it really is one of those things. Back then, I was so young, I never really thought about it too much. I did know that it was wrong, but it wasn't just me. It was a whole bunch of us. So it wasn't like, okay, it's just me. He's picking on. It's a whole bunch of us. Like literally, you wear your heels. You have to wear your skirt. You have to have on makeup. Like it's like this whole big thing. But it was great. Like it was literally just like a small thing. Yeah, like so long ago.
Okay. Well, I'm glad he got dealt with.
Yeah, he got dealt with.
He sounded like a hater.
He was a big hater. I remember when I first became a GM, he told everybody I did not get that job. I'm like, well, I'm leaving tomorrow, so I don't know what to tell you.
And he was hating like, what you?
He was hating. He was a big hater, and I don't know where he's at today. I have no clue, but he'll see me soon because I will be everywhere.
Right, the face of the company.
Yeah, the face of the company. I have really big goals that just go beyond just doing this one little thing.
Okay, where do you see your career in the next 5 years or so?
The next 5 years. The next 5 years. After today, I honestly am. I'm on a tricky slope after today because we really just changed everything. I work for a great company, and they really just kind of laid the groundwork for me to be able to reach for the stars, literally. I just don't know if within 5 years my work will be done as like an area director of sales. I used to think that, I was going to I was going to be a GM, and then I was going to become like a regional, and then I was going to go here, and I was going to be, this and that. But I've kind of tapped into this thing where I need to be well versed in everything, and I do need to do something, implement something like I just dropped today, and I need to stay on course and stay on task so I can show this is what I've done. So in 5 years, I can only say monetarily, I know that I will be well taken care of, but in regards to like my title, I have no clue. If you would have asked me last year, I would have been able to tell you, but right now I have no clue. But I do know that monetarily, I will be taken care of.
God has a funny way, so you think you got a plan? Throw it away.
Yeah, literally. The only thing that I do see is I will be a CIO, a chief operating officer of some hotel company. I don't know where, but I will be, and it won't be within the next 5 years. I'll tell you that. But we'll see. And
when you were one of the old people, I said when you're one of the old people.
Oh yeah, when I'm one of the older people. Yeah, when I'm one of the older people, that's when we'll see. When I'm like 40-ish something.
Okay. We're gonna get off your career and let the people get to know you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You said you had kids and a husband. Are you still married, single, complicated?
Oh my gosh. We have this great, amazing like bond. Technically, we have now made a turning point to where we're forming like this great, amazing friendship. That is someone who I was with from the time I was 16.
A baby.
We were high school sweethearts. We were together for like a long time before we got married. That was my first relationship, my only relationship. I'm happy in life, and we are such great co-parents, raising our 2 kids. And I'm super thankful because a lot of people do not have that support.
They don't.
Because it is definitely a level of support that I get from him that I will never be able to get from anybody else that I'm deserving of.
Mm. So, what gets your attention?
What gets my attention in regards to
Men.
um I guess like thoughtfulness. I've already been married, so I already know. I've already been married. I've been romanced. I've been taken care of. Um, he bought my first car. Um, Whenever I was making that $7 an hour, we owned a home. He was paying bulk of everything. So it's like I've already had everything that I see people talking about on social media about a man taking care of you and a man done that. We've switched roles. Like I've had everything. So really just paying attention to detail. Because like I'm a very particular person, a very strong woman. Like I literally cook dinner like 5 days a week. I have a very like strict schedule. I'm very like, this is what I need from you type person. So it's a lot going on. So very like paying attention to detail. It's always the little things for me. Like one time he sent me roses and he sent me 9 roses. And I thought that was so funny. I'm like, what are not the 9 roses for? And he said the 9 years we've been together. And I thought that was just so sweet because it was at like a weird time. And I thought that was still sweet to send that. Yeah.
I'm really rooting for him.
Oh my God.
That was a good one.
Yeah. See, yeah, he's a real sweet, genuine person. No matter what happens, who knows?
Have you ever been in love?
Oh yes, yep, yes I have. Yeah. So yeah, I have been in love and it was so great. It was really great until it wasn't.
What's the hardest part about loving you?
The hardest, I am a hard person to get along with. I'm very difficult with a lot of things because I'm very strong-minded, strong-willed. Like when you have everything, when you have all the money you need, because I can't even say, I love saying like I'm poor, I'm this and that, but I live a good life. And I love to say that I live a really, really good life. And when you have the means, when you have expenses as high as my expenses are, you have a certain mentality that you just cannot shake. Like I can't shake that I'm this strong woman who don't need you for nothing. Like I don't need you for nothing, but you have to bring something to the table. Like you can't just be here. You have to bring something to the table.
You gotta add value.
You do. And I'm not I always see the things where they're talking about building a man or a man that has, I can't start from the ground with anyone because I've already done that. We started from the ground and I'm up here.
You're on a penthouse level now.
Yeah, like I'm up here. I can't go back down here. I was down there when I was like 18, 19, 20, 21. I'm 29 and it's very hard because I'm very like strong. Like what I say goes, and I will argue with you. I will ignore you. I will block you because what I say literally goes, and that goes like I'm sure my kid's dad hates it because he's just like nothing worse than somebody blocking you mid-type.
That's when you never mind.
It's nothing worse than that. It's nothing worse. Somebody right. You got to see all the time because she has your kids. It's nothing worse than that.
Don't block me. Don't block me. And I'll be blocking a lot of people, but don't block me.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't like to be blocked because it gets done to me, and I'm just like, well, okay. I just gotta like, you just gotta live with it. Like I just live with it. I take it with a grain of salt.
When I get blocked on social media, I'll be going to ask why, but there's no way I can ask why. Like, if you got me blocked and you're watching this, can you please tell me why?
Oh my God, I've never been blocked on social media. Actually, yes, I have. My kid's dad has me blocked on social media, and he is blocked back.
Are you a block backer?
Yep. Yeah. We basically just don't know what is going on in the lives of social media, but I am well aware that I have people who have been looking at my social media, I guess through fake pages or whatever, and kind of saying whatever they want to say, getting it back to them, but
reporters,
whatever. Yeah, reporters. I have reporters on my social media. I don't really care because my social media cannot be deciphered. I cannot be deciphered through social media. If my friends know me so well, and literally Kayla, she will DM me like, "Girl, what the hell are you talking about?" My social media cannot be deciphered. Like even my friends don't even know what I'm talking about. We just think it's so funny because it's just like we all do it. We just have like this little idea, and nobody can know what I'm talking about at any time because 1 minute I'm posting I'm in love, 1 minute I'm posting I'm heartbroken, 1 minute I'm into this, 1 minute I'm into that. Like you just don't know, and so I like it because it just keeps people like
Never let your left hand know what your right hand doing.
never. People always just like, what do you got going? I'm like, none of your business. It's just for me to know.
Can you tell me about a time you got into it with somebody over social media?
Into somebody over social media. I'm really not an arguer over
Yeah,
social
not
media.
even arguing over social media. Something was posted or something happened over social media and it spilled over to y'all not really liking each other or having a misunderstanding.
Um, no. And for the reason why is if it's not directed, it's not respected. So when I tell you, my friends will tell you I'm the most uncaring person when it comes to a lot of things. I've heard that I'm like talking to me sometimes is like talking to a brick wall. Only because if you are not going to direct something at me, I do not care what you have to say. Like you're gonna tell me and you're gonna tell me correctly, or just don't tell me at all. I don't play telephone. I don't do anything that does not directly concern me. I'm just like, oh well. I didn't say it to my face, and that is just something that has to stay with me because I get very angry. I've been an angry person who's going off on people left and right. And if you ask some of my friends who I've been friends with for the past 2 decades, they'll tell you that I've changed so much. I've calmed down so much because I just don't let anything get to me anymore. Nothing can really get to me because the bigger picture is always up here. And also, I don't want to see anybody to see me slacking. Like, please, I go on social media, I do little rants, but nobody knows what I'm talking about because if it's not directed, it's not respected. That goes for me and them.
I respect it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I haven't found myself arguing back and forth on social media.
Yeah, I'm not going to. It's like, it's beneath me because what can you really say? What can you say about me? Like, I really just don't, can't relate. Like, you people don't know me. I'm not a person that is well known, well connected. Like, I don't know a lot of people. Usually people meet me and it's one of their first times meeting me. They met me through someone. They usually met me through my friends.
I still ain't never seen you outside.
Outside, yeah. See, I be ducking and dodging. I be outside now. Here lately, I'm not as outside as I used to be, but I am outside. But you would never really know because it's just one of those things where people are weirdos, especially here.
I agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been a time someone talked themselves out of getting with you?
Talk themselves out of getting with me,
Like you were feeling them, you really.
and they talk themselves. Hell yeah! I don't know what is going on in the world. I just do not know what is going on in the world for people to I think that people just view me a certain way. Like if you look at me on social media, I look like a mother. I am a mother. I'm a mother. I'm a caretaker. I have a lot going on. So I think that some people see that like very intimidating. I stay where they're at. Well, I can't even go into examples because I really don't like talking about like my personal life like that.
What's your biggest fear as a parent?
I just want my kids to grow up to be good, successful people. I want them to see how hard everyone works around them. I want them to see the life that has been provided to them compared to the life I lived when I was younger. They live a pretty amazing life. Like they've lived in the same house since they've been born. They have their own rooms. Like anything they want, they get at the drop of a dime. And I just want them to grow up to be successful. I want to be successful, but I want them to be more successful than I am.
And when it comes to them and when they get older, would you want them to put you in front of their spouses or put their spouses in front of you?
Their spouses come first. Since I've already been married before, I already know that the spouse becomes first above all. Um, Above your children, above all. Because at the end of the day, when your kids are grown and they leave you, all you have is your spouse to turn to. So I hope they always put their spouse first if they do have a spouse. Hopefully not until they're like old, but don't be like mama.
Which one is more like you, your son or your daughter?
If you ask everyone, they will say my son because he's really smart. He got a smart mouth. He's very intelligent. He talks with a really particular dialect. I used to always tell his teachers, don't be mad because he is really inquisitive. So just don't be upset that he really is going to question. So why are you doing this? Anyways, I don't get it. Like what's the point? But I feel like my daughter, as she told me one day, she goes, I want to be a mother and a wife like you. And I'm like, that is so sweet because I'm doing the mother part, but the wife part, not so much. But I still love that she sees me as like wifely, I guess. And she sees the things I do and she thinks of everything I do as that's what a mother and a wife is supposed to be like. Like, I cook dinner every day. I got everything in order, always cleaning up, always just like bossing everybody around. I boss their dad around and bossing everybody around. And I love that my daughter, she wants to be me. Like when it comes to makeup, she loves makeup. She's only 5, but you ask everybody, they're gonna say my son. But me personally, I think it's my daughter because she's like just like me.
Do you raise your son differently than you raise your daughter, or do you try to keep them the same?
He's the older one, so I do want him to always never throw her under the bus. I'm always like, if she's playing by herself, you go play with her. If someone's picking on her, you need to stand up for her. I'm trying to raise him to be like a man, because I can't do it because I'm a woman. But he's with me majority of the time, so I kind of have to like. I really like. Some people be like, stop talking to him that way, and I'm like, no, I gotta talk to him the way his dad would talk to him because his dad isn't here, so I need to step in and talk to him a certain way. So I do raise him a little bit different. I'm a little bit more sensitive to her because she's a girl and she's a baby. She's my baby. She is my baby. I'm like, if I could pick her up and rock her, I would. But yeah, him, I'm a little bit more like stern. Her, I'm a little bit more easygoing.
At what age do you think they'll leave the house, if you want them to leave the house at all?
I hope that they do decide to go to universities far, far away. I do hope that if they ever have to come back home, I would love for them to stay with me for however long they need to in order for them to buy a home or just do whatever they need. Like we've talked about, we're going to pay for their cars. We're going to pay for their phones. We're going to pay for everything that they need to be successful those first couple of years. Like, I don't just want to throw them to the wolves. I want to be able to live a lifestyle to where I'm paying for everything that they need to be paid for. Now, the rent and stuff, I don't really know, but cars, insurance, phones, things like that, yeah.
I feel like they'd rather you pay the rent than the car note.
Well, I don't know. If the car is going to be in my name, the car is what's going to get paid for. Rent and stuff, like, that's like pushing it too far. They could just live with me. So they're going to need to be self-sufficient at one point because that's the only way I was able to be the way I am because I didn't have any of the things that they have. I really did everything myself.
You did. I salute you.
Thank you.
You're a grinder and your kids will be like you. They have no choice.
Yeah.
Because you bossy like that.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't got no choice.
Yeah, I'm really bossy.
I only got a few more questions, and they're about you, nobody else.
Yep.
So I'm gonna give you 3 things real quick. You tell me the first thing to come to your mind. Favorite food?
Sushi, and it has to be sashimi. I like it just like I love just fish.
All right. Favorite drink?
Like a margarita.
And best movie of all time?
The best, see, that's a really good one. I'm in between Dreamgirls and Transformers. That is
what?
That is, listen, Dreamgirls and Transformers. Every single Transformers movie is up there. Dreamgirls up there. Like, it's got Beyonce, it's got singing, it's got beef. So it's in between Transformers and Dreamgirls, and that will never change. It's been that way since they both came out, which is really the same time around like 2008, 2007.
That's wild. Those are so, that spectrum is so wide.
Dreamgirls, Transformers.
It fits you.
No, they are, yeah, it really does. Like, I know it word for word, every Dreamgirls, but Transformers, I'm really just like.
So was Effie in the wrong? Was she being unprofessional in that?
So I'm trying to get under that whole thing because if you ask me, yes, I don't like Effie. I thought she was just like, she was so, Effie was not, okay, she had the voice. I'm not really into it. Like, I'm not really into the whole, Yeah, I'm definitely team Dina. Still in the man part now. Like, we don't take people's men. But Effie, no matter what you go through, your work comes first. That
She was pregnant though.
I don't care. I was in labor and I was at work in labor. That was the very first time I ever called into work. Is the next day I went to the hospital for my doctor's appointment. Literally limped into the doctor's office. They're like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "My back has been hurting for so long." And they're like hooking me up to all these machines. They're like, "Call the ambulance. She's in labor." Like, and I called my boss like, "I have to call in today." She's like, "What? Why?" I never called in ever the whole time I worked there. And I'm like, "I'm in labor." She said, "Oh, shoot." So it used to be a running thing in our company. They would always be like, Alexandria's first time calling in was when she was in labor. So I just think that being pregnant or not, don't really care. I work, there's a healthy balance, but work always comes first and you have to remain professional. Maybe she should have took some time off. She didn't take time off. Instead, she just started acting like a psycho for no reason. Well, it was for a reason, but nobody knew the reason. You're working. You don't get to do that. You have to leave it all at the door. You come in, you suck it up, and you work through it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a very worky person.
I see.
Like,
You took
like management, like whole spiel thing.
I always thought Effie was right because you my home girl. I got his own. You stole my man, and y'all kicking me out the group.
Yeah, so yeah, I hate that Effie got kicked out. It was for the better of the Dreamgirls, because look at them. They soared to the top. But yeah, still in the whole man thing, I'm not really.
I'm not rocking with Dina.
I am rocking with Dina. I have the most controversial opinions about everything and things like that. Dina was my girl.
Completely in the wrong hubble.
Oh, she was just ditzy, dumb, stupid, like all of the above. But Dina, without her, they would have not. I don't think they would have achieved the same success. And I'm talking about in the movie.
Without Effie, they wouldn't have got on.
Lay off, Effie. Yes, like I don't care. Like take. You got to take the back seat. I don't know. Like I feel like they even do that to this day with the girls to get them to where they need to go. Effie was like the voice, but I don't know. Dina had that star power. And that's what they were looking for. They're looking for the star. She was the star. And she Beyonce, so always bzzz.
You a beehive?
I am a part of the beehive. Like if you start talking about Beyonce, be easy. Like chill. Chill. I do not tolerate any Beyonce disrespect.
I'm the same way with Drake, so I can't say that.
Oh, I love Drake. See, I love Drake. He's a little weird, but I do love him.
Next question, because he's really not
look, easy on Drake.
Easy on Drake. What's the insult that you received that you're proud of?
That I'm proud of? I get called a bitch a lot. And I do not mind it. Half the time it is jokingly, but sometimes it hasn't been as jokingly. And I understand because, you know, when you are just like this person who's just like, I'm literally just like this, like there is no in-betweens with me. I'm pretty sure people meet me and they're just like, I cannot gauge her. You will never be able to gauge me because I do not look like a person that you should walk up to in a bar and talk to. I don't look like a person that you want to befriend so easily. I'm very just like I just look like this all the time. Like I'm always doing weird faces. I'm always saying the rudest things. And that's just something that is not going to change because it's not done with hostility. It's just kind of like somebody has to do it. Somebody has to be the realist. Somebody has to, like, if someone is crying about something and I just do not see the point, I'm just like, what are you even crying for? Like, I just don't. I'm just not that, like, I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. You know, there are people dying, Kim.
I got blocked for saying the same thing, so it was cool.
Yeah, there's just you know, you just gotta I try to see everything from every perspective. That also is just how I am with work, how I am with my relationships. Like I just want to see it from every perspective. When you're wrong, you're wrong, and if you're right, you're right. But if I say you're wrong, you're wrong. And my friends gonna say you're wrong too. One of my best friends, she always would say, like, if I would get into an argument with someone, she gonna ride for me. She'll ride for me to the end. But then when it's over, bitch, why would you do that? Like we get behind. Why would you say that? Like, why would you do that to that girl? That's usually like what happens. So
everybody need friends like that.
Yeah, it's usually that's usually me. So being called a bitch, I'm like, okay, like I don't know how you got there, but you got there, and I'm glad you saw what you needed to see to get to that conclusion.
My last question for you, outside of work, outside of being a mom, who is Alexandria?
Um, I am outside of work and outside of being a mom. I am, um, you know, one of my best friends asked me that. Last year, I was let go from my job after the hotel was sold, and I had lost a sense of identity. And she literally said to me, she said, "Who is Alexandria without the titles? Who is she without being a mother? Who is she without being a wife?" Because at that point, all I really had was just my kids. I didn't have anything else, just the kids. And she's like, "Who are you?" And I remember I used to just cry all the time. I cried for months because I'm like, I don't even know. But now looking at it, who am I? Who are you, girl? Somebody who cannot be fucked with. That's the only way to really put it. In any aspect of the words, I cannot be fucked with. Like, yeah, that's just, I guess that's it. I don't really know. Because my biggest part of my identity is working so hard to live a certain life and for my kids and work. I'm proud of the work I do. Like my reputation in the city goes beyond me. So it's like it's all really a part of me. Because I wouldn't even be here today without being a mom, having this great reputation and things like that.
Okay. Well, Miss Unfuckwittable, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You got anything you want to tell the people before we go?
So what do I want to tell the people before we go? No. I don't know. So before we go, thank you guys for listening to me. I hope I wasn't jibber jabbing too much. I hope I wasn't talking too much. I hope one day we can do this again and I can divulge in another part of my life. Because I really would like to talk more about, I really would like to be more myself and show more of myself to people. But during this time, I cannot show as much as myself as I would want to. And I hope maybe within the next 9 months or so, maybe we can revisit this and not talk about work and we can fully talk about, other stuff and things like that. But yeah. Also, look at this really cool table we just got in and look at that. I love it. Isn't that so fancy?
It is.
Yeah, but so thank you guys for coming here today, here with me at the Wingate. If you need a hotel, hit me up.
All right, and we're out.